All right, we back live. Another video about them doggone migrants. They causing all kind of mayhem in Ohio, New York. I'm just gonna show you some videos because you can't make this up for real. It's unbelievable, especially what them Haitians doing in Ohio. You can't make it up. So this New York City, they really doing bad in New York City for real. Here we go. This New York City, y'all ready?
Shoplifting is becoming all too common in the five boroughs. Supermarkets have become one of the hardest hit stores, and one local chain is now taking matters into their own hands, beefing up their security. So a particular grocery store chain has a problem at one of its locations, and it's located down the block from one of the largest shelters in crime. Others say the real issue is our city doesn't care if grocery stores get robbed, and hasn't for a long time.
A community in Brooklyn tonight coming together asking for help. They say migrant shelters in their neighborhood are leading to violence and bringing in dangerous gang members.
Store managers say some of the most common items being stolen are everything from laundry detergent to meats, even ice cream.
We've seen it at pharmacies, so much stuff under lock and key, all an effort to fight the shoplifting epidemic. And scenes like these. But now supermarkets are embracing the anti-shoplifting campaign.
We are here today because there is an attempt to put our neighborhood back 30 years in time.
Shoplifting is bad. It's terrible.
Coffee, cheese, shrimp, nothing is safe.
Those in attendance tonight say they aren't opposed to housing migrants in their neighborhood, just not thousands in a span of 2 blocks.
You are mass warehousing nearly 4,000 migrants in one city block across 2 shelters.
There is now a real concern among business owners that shoplifting will skyrocket and become 10 times worse.
So a grocery store near a shelter apparently has a problem with rising theft. But while everyone's focused on the asylum crisis aspect of this, nobody's upset that the crimes in question aren't something New York City cares about stopping, because they're nonviolent and have already been decriminalized. Which is why as far back as 2022, 93% of all grocery stores in the city reported being victims of theft. And why wouldn't they, when food just gets more and more expensive every single year, and when nobody in New York goes to jail for stealing when the amount is under $1,000? And that brings up a big question. If a small number of asylum seekers from a nearby shelter are indeed robbing a local grocery store, aren't they just committing what New Yorkers maintain is a victimless crime nobody suffers from? Because that's the progressive mindset that critics say has allowed a $4.4 billion shoplifting industry to exist in our state. And it's why repeat criminals of all backgrounds continue to roam our streets, stealing from stores at will, while never being blamed for the crimes they commit. Oh no, instead they're viewed as victims of society who deserve unlimited second chances by our justice system. Which makes sense that we've got more products locked up on our shelves than we have thieves in jail. And that brings us to the real reason why there seem to be rising levels of theft at stores near shelters in our city. These areas have all experienced recent population growth. And since our city doesn't punish theft, any population increase is gonna come with an increase in criminals who commit crime. And doesn't even matter where they're from. Everywhere as our population grows, it just might be happening faster in neighborhoods that have shelters versus those that don't. Yet for months, residents have been complaining about the size of this particular shelter. It's one of the largest in town, and residents say there are just too many people living there. It's overwhelming neighborhood resources and leading to violence. On top of that, multiple local businesses complain that the entire neighborhood now feels unsafe. And if the grocery store there ends up shutting down, people in that neighborhood will not have another affordable option.
This is Cash Videos.
So here we are by by a Key Food, one of a few local grocery stores under this brand name here in New York City. They're great. They've got low prices. Generally, if you live near one, it will be the cheapest grocery store. But unlike this particular store, which shows no signs of an ongoing theft problem, even if they do have one, the store that's 1 block away from one of the city's largest physical shelters has an entire security apparatus with cameras, and apparently they're even now going to start hiring security guards. Now, over 200,000 people have come to New York seeking asylum, the vast majority of whom did not come here to steal. Already got high crime and high theft. Any increase at all could be enough to shut a business down forever.
Residents of Clinton Hill, Brooklyn, taking to the streets Tuesday evening, demanding the closure of this migrant shelter at 47 Hall Street, where more than 3,000 are being housed. They say the neighborhood is plagued with violence, and it all stems from the shelter.
So the residents who live near this particular shelter, they say it's too large to be a humane place for people to live, and they say that the city isn't doing residents, which may be true. After all, if a certain number of people who enter a supermarket steal things no matter what, it could be that a lack of police might make criminals feel emboldened to take things that they shouldn't, which, according to the New York Post, is exactly what's happening here. And this grocery store will start hiring security guards to police the entrances and the exits. On top of that, it's not just the Key Foods that's having a security and a theft-related issue. There are other businesses in the area say that theft is also affecting them as well in ways that it hadn't before the shelter arrived, which is incredibly troubling. But there's a problem. Even if Key Food goes and gets security guards to hold customers' backpacks at the front door while they shop, the store cannot prevent people from shopping with their own personal bag. So if somebody comes in with a bag that looks like a shopping bag, they can't take it away from them because single-use plastic bags are banned in New York, and it's the law that customers have to.
So what's happening in New York City is that single individuals only have 30 days. And if they can't, and if they try to reapply and there's no space, they out on the street. So now you have these people, these migrants who are now out on the streets and they hungry, they starving because the families is what get the money. There's really no money left for the single people, and they raid the grocery stores. And so, I mean, if you hungry, what else you gonna do? So now we about to go to, oh shoot, not that one. The Biden-Harris administration flying migrants from California to Texas at 80,000 per flight.
Calm at the southern border, the Biden administration has been flying migrants from California, which continues to be a hot spot for illegal crossings, to Texas, where the Republican governor there, Greg Abbott, pulled off his border. Sources tell us that over the last month, during the time the Biden administration introduced new restrictions on asylum at the border, Border Patrol charter flights have been operating weekly, flying migrants from San Diego to Texas's Rio Grande Valley. We also got our hands on telling photos of these flights before takeoff, where we can see hundreds of migrants shackled by the ankles being loaded onto commercial-sized planes that sources say cost taxpayers an estimated $80,000 a trip. Border Patrol holding facilities in San Diego for months have been over their operational capacity, resulting in these flights. Meanwhile, the state and personnel along the border. After the March migrant riot in El Paso, which we uncovered, the state also began arming its soldiers and troopers with pepper balls, which are non-lethal weapons. With the flights and the crossings into the Rio Grande Valley, there have been roughly 400 migrants released into the South Texas region since Biden's border crackdown began. Individuals released meet the exceptions to removal that are presented by the new rule, which include being from a country that is adversarial to the United States and therefore doesn't accept deportations. Other fear claim. While June border crossings dipped to the lowest level seen under the Biden.
So that's what 80K a flight flying from Cali to Texas to be processed. Two illegal immigrants accused of SA after being deported, and they came back.
Where the sheriff in Northwest Florida really feels the effects of the open border in the southern border.
Okaloosa County Sheriff Eric Aden speaking out tonight following the second arrest in as many months of illegal aliens accused of committing sex crimes on teenage girls. These are two separate cases. In both instances, the suspects deported only to come back. DNA also helping lead to both arrests. Tonight, both remain in the Okaloosa County Jail with immigration holds. 20-year-old Mauricio Escobar Munez facing serious charges of sexual battery of a child and burglary. According to Okaloosa County
This is
Sheriff's
awful.
investigators, Escobar Munez broke into her home in the middle of the night.
A female, 14-year-old female in our area for Walton Beach, awakens to a Hispanic male unknown to her.
And Sheriff Eric Aden says the crime happened on April 21st. A DNA profile taken from the victim hit a match on July 11th, leading them to Escobar Munez, who lived less than a mile from the victim. Even more frustrating for the sheriff, the Honduran native had also been deported by Homeland Security in September 2022.
Wow.
It was labeled as denied entry classification.
Wow.
You can see how well that worked, right? To be honest with you, the cell phone that we seized, that we're using as evidence, is probably one that was given to him by our government at the border. And then secondly, if there was such thing as an accessory before the fact, maybe Alabama needs to be looked at. Because this is ridiculous.
Sheriff Aden, not the only one, upset with the Secretary of Homeland Security. You'll remember House Republicans tried to impeach him earlier this year. Meanwhile, the latest arrest marks the second instance June 26 for the same charge on a 14-year-old girl in Okaloosa County. This crime happening on February 25th. Sheriff Aden says just 16 days earlier, he too had been deported, only to illegally cross the border and return to Okaloosa County.
It's just frustrating. It's frustrating to see this play out right here in Northwest Florida.
Well, the problem at the U.S. southern border didn't happen overnight and has become a major issue in the presidential election. Sheriff Aden, these are just cases of men he believes could have been avoided.
There's a pathway to citizenship, and I understand it's an arduous process, but many people do it. They do it the right way. They become great skilled laborers here, business owners here, and they're great American citizens. And we certainly applaud that. But we've got to stop the border of illegal aliens. We're going to hold them accountable.
And they bring their culture here because this is what they do in their country when it comes to young girls, and there's no reprimand. So they bring in their cultures because they not vetted. And both of these were deported and they came back. Now we going to Ohio. These are the Africans from Martinique.
Thousands of migrants cross into the U.S. at our southern border every month, mainly from Venezuela, Mexico, and the northern triangle nations, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras.
But another group of asylum seekers have their sites specifically on Cincinnati.
U.S. Customs and Border the 4 months prior.
So that is an area of the country in West Africa where people are fleeing reported state violence. The Associated Press reports that the nation was one of the last to criminalize slavery, and the practice is so widely believed to be persistent in parts of the country that several people who spoke to the AP have said police targeted them because of anti-slavery activism.
So this population is finding its way to Cincinnati from a new route posted on TikTok and WhatsApp. An immigration loophole in Nicaragua allows relaxed entry requirements and makes a low-cost visa available for purchase without proof of onward travel.
Because they're smuggled illegally. So they're illegal
from that country to the U.S. southern border. They travel all the way. They go into Turkey, then Colombia, or El Salvador, or Nicaragua, you name it. Then they make their way to our southern border. And then after crossing into the U.S. seeking asylum,
some migrants arrive early to meet the crowds.
We just had 1,000 Africans show up in the community.
Mauritanians from West Africa finding their way to Cincinnati, piling in here.
But 100 came to our doors last Friday, and we're wiped out of food.
It was a laborious process to help.
We don't know where they're from. We don't know how to communicate with them. And it created quite...
Right. Don't speak English.
After a year of showing up to Valley Interfaith, they've collectively found their footing. No English is understood, but occasional French. Mostly Fulani or Wolof is spoken in their native country. This is Kaladu. He made his way to America 7 months ago, seeking freedom and dignity. He's now central to maintaining food security and assistance for newer migrants because he speaks English.
He volunteered to start helping us do the data entry. We rely on data and demographics for those who support our mission. And so started to be able to figure out, who this person is, get them into the system so we can have good data and we can help them, we can track them. So we can't build any foundation.
He and a few others are the bridge between Mauritanians and English-speaking workers, while this group precariously seeks immigration status. Migrants shop with volunteers as they await their fate, loading items into carts, knowing this could go on for months. It's a temporary hand-up as they anticipate a legal work permit, hoping to be self-sufficient. But they say
Now that's Ohio. But when I get to the Haitians, I was outdone. I was really, really outdone. And that happened within the week. Oh, this New York. So a brother unalived one of them, and they charging him with a hate crime. Let's hear this one.
Salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today I want to talk about this story out of
I'm
Brooklyn,
gonna
New York,
go.
where a New York City Parks Department worker is not only being charged with murdering an illegal migrant from Venezuela that was camping out in that park, the one that he was assigned to clean up, but he's also being charged with a hate crime in this particular instance. And the reason I want to talk about this is a couple of fold. One, I talk about the migrant issues repeatedly on this channel, and I emphasize over and over again that it's not recent. One of these people aren't people or anything. That the system is broken. Biden asked for these people to surge to the border.
I would in fact make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you have faith and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
And we are dealing consequences
Facts.
of these people coming here for benefits that they were encouraged to come here for. And two, I'm not exactly sure I buy the hate crime angle in this particular story, but I do want to clarify something right off the top. The suspect in this particular sin, he is not a white person, so no, I'm not saying I don't buy the hate crime angle because the suspect was white. Let me just be clear about that. Now, we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Oh, give me the money. Give me the money. Okay? City Parks Department employees not only accused of shooting a migrant, but now faces murder as a hate crime charges.
So look, I have issues with hate crime laws. You guys out there in the audience have told me repeatedly that you have issues with hate crime laws. It is one of the few crimes that requires mind reading because motivation is actually not required for conviction for any type of crime. It is usually just mens rea, which is evil intent.
Right, but that's the
rea,
thing. They charging him with a hate crime. But they've been unaliving. They've been SAN, children, adults. I mean, they've been doing everything. It should be a hate crime against Americans. Mm. Okay, here we go. This might be Chicago.
Rob, a Denver native.
Oh, this is Denver. Venezuelan tried to rob somebody, but he returned fire. Denver. They gonna catch the wrong one. What it is.
Y'all already know what's going on. We is in the building, man. As soon as y'all get up in here, make sure y'all smash the like button. Say which number like y'all is. Y'all see the title. Y'all see the thumbnail, man. We in here talking.
Now, Chicago sitting up there with a bill almost just 900 some thousand deficit. They gotta find money, so now they froze hiring because of these migrants. Let me see. I want to just find that. I might just have to play this, but I'm only gonna play a little bit of it. Hold on. $982 million deficit.
Bothered me. Shout out to my dog, Chris James. Chris James will read the super chat shortly. This bothered me, and I don't want to spend any more. You know my signature line. I don't want to spend any more than 10 minutes on this new subject. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta get to it. Chicago. Right after Kamala Harris left for the Democratic National Convention, right after the Planned Parenthood vans pulled off from doing what they do at the Democratic National Convention, right after a couple of people caught some stray bullets, right after the migrants continue to run over Chicago, guess what they told us? Guess what Brandon Johnson told us yesterday? I couldn't believe it. They talked about it on TikTok. They said we got a $982 million budget deficit.
Yep.
I am not exaggerating. I am not adding zeros. I am not adding numbers. If you are in Chicago, please miss me with the anti. Why do you continue to hold Chicago accountable? I have 900 and turn on your notifications. We going in today, y'all.
A nearly $1 billion shortfall. That's what the city of Chicago is facing for their 2025 budget. Mayor Brandon Johnson saying the city needs to find $982 million.
Yeah, I guess you do.
He is here after talking with some experts on their ideas to fix the problem. Sarah?
Well, everyone I spoke with said they knew this number would be big, but this is nearly double the amount that Mayor Brandon Johnson faced
Sorry
his
about
first
that.
year in office. And now he will have to make some cuts to existing spending and find some creative ways to bring more money in.
The number was actually lower than what I anticipated.
Lower.
Says he'd like things of revenue.
Now our economy has shifted to goods and services, and in other states, they tax such services such as dry cleaning, things of that nature.
Oh, wait. Captain Microphone here. Captain Microphone here. Are you telling me that y'all solution is not to actually address the issues that y'all have?
Right. The migrants.
Actually address the issues that y'all have, but to tax people more? Now you want to start taxing more taxes on dry cleaning services? Are you telling me that the goal, y'all have a 900, do y'all know that this school teacher, Brandon Johnson, the school teacher, has been in office for less than a year?
And he has been, look, and he has been terrible. And you gonna raise property taxes on people you ain't gave no assistance and freeze hiring. That ain't gonna get you $982 million. Almost $1 billion. Get the hell out of Chicago. That's what I'm saying. And I love Chicago. I'm saving the best for last because when I show you what them Haitians doing in Ohio, your mouth gonna drop. But let me see what I got. Oh, we're gonna talk about this again.
Honduras is now behind bars after a massive manhunt in Indiana. Dimas Gabriel Yanez is accused of stabbing a 14-year-old girl while she was attending her younger brother's baseball game. The suspect was deported in 2018 and is linked to several other crimes across the United States. Matt Rainey coaching the brothers' baseball team. He was on third base with a player and he saw the whole thing and joins us now. Good morning to you, Matt. Thanks for being with us and thanks for what you do for the kids.
Yeah, good morning. Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Just coaching a baseball game like I pretty much do all the time. And I'm on third base. I look to talk to my on-deck batter, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this dude just come out of behind my dugout. And all he did was just jump on this girl. And then he started to like push her down onto the bleachers. And then he pulls out at least a 16 to 20 inch knife. It wasn't even a regular sized pocket knife, and just started swinging it and got her a few times, and blood went all over the bleachers and on the people sitting in front of him.
Broad daylight.
Takes off running down the...
What the piss is happening in this country? What is going on? What do you hold on. What do you mean that he just pulls out a big blade, jumps out, and just starts stabbing this little girl?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
Yo, you didn't hear about this stuff. And this wasn't a thing. And I'm not saying that America didn't have its own problems and that we didn't have to deal with certain things that was happening in society and so on and so forth. But I'm saying that this wasn't a thing. You didn't have people, illegal migrants from Venezuela and Honduras, just randomly walking around with knives and jumping out and stabbing a little 14-year-old.
Right. That part.
That's the end of the conversation before we hear the rest of this story. Number one, I'm always very, very, very sketchy of other cultures because I don't know, and I know that this is a deeper part of the conversation, I don't know the spirits that you bring in over here.
Exactly.
I'm very careful of whether or not I shake certain people's hands.
That's a
whether
fact.
I give certain people hugs. I don't go into everybody else's houses. I'm very lyrical. When I went down to Louisiana, right? I went down to Louisiana. Actually, it wasn't even to Louisiana. I went to Biloxi. And I like to hang out in Biloxi because that's like my hidden little spot, my hidden little gem or whatever. And then we would drive over to New Orleans. voodoo shops and stuff. There's certain things that I won't even go into. I had read a thing where a woman she would put like some kind of dust or something to where it would fall on the people when they went into the voodoo shops and stuff like that down there in New Orleans and stuff. I'm careful of the very spirits of people a lot
That's
of
a
times,
fact.
and I don't even want to be around negative energy in real life. It's draining when you have to deal with some of the stuff that you deal with all of these people that's unvetted, undocumented from all walks of life. And so, in addition to different cultural norms and a way in which they're used to doing things because they didn't grow up like us.
That's Anton Daniels. He from Detroit. I love his channel. But the spiritual aspect, that is so true. Now let me show you how many trying to get up in here. This is in Mexico. I need to change the title.
Thank you so
I love his channel.
Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voices. We are located in the border of Tijuana, Mexico, in connection with San Isidro, California. This is the port of entry, better known as El Chaparral, where the CBP1 app line. It is continuing and it is massively growing. Migrants continue to arrive right here to Tijuana, Baja California. Behind me, you will see a scattered migrants from all over the place right here from Venezuela, also from Africa, also from Haiti, and different parts of Central and South America. This is the port of entry right here to my left, where you enter to the United States of America. That bridge that you see on the top is where the migrants enter and where they are being processed to enter. An officer, which is of Mexico, which is basically securing and inspectioning the paperwork if they are applicable to be entering to see the American judge and to see if they are going to be let into the United States of America. This is the CBP1 app right here, as you see in front of you. Migrants are being let in right here. They're being processed. You see migrants that are already in. You see a family right here going into military age males, 3 military age males and a woman with a child just being let in. Also, you see migrants from Africa being lined in right here to see if they're going to be let in.
They still coming. They still coming.
Also, all the way to the back, you will see more migrants waiting as every day they wait and to see if they're going to be admitted and vetted into the United States of America. God bless you all. This is a flash report from the port of entry of El Chaparral, where the arrival of migrants continues into the borders with Mexico into the United States. Also, another migrant is being let in right here, as you see right now. They are just being processed. Basically, what the immigration officer it is holding on his hand, it is a piece of paper where he checks the name of the migrant and also a number that is the application of the CBP1 to see if they have an appointment to enter to the United States and to see if they can be processed. This is actually what it is happening right here at the border. This process through this application created under the Biden administration and has been effective in working under the Biden administration and Kamala Harris administration. Basically going on full on for 4 years now. And as migrants are arriving, where they have informed me where more migrants are stationed and waiting is in the city of Mexico. They're talking about 40 to 50,000 migrants that they're scattered in the city of Mexico.
40 to 50,000 waiting to get in. After about 15 million already here. You can't make this up. You know what? I think I'm going to stop this here and I'm going to come back. I'm going to edit. What did I do? Oh, I need to do in Mexico. I'm going to come back for part 2 because I'm going to keep this short and I'm going to edit this. All right, I'm sleeping too. I'm about to go to bed. Oh, it's 1 in the morning. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me end this stream and edit.